Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Living Simply and Fun, and I'm your host, Aaron. I'm doing this one solo. Last night I got into it with somebody who made me think, and I wanted to do a topic about it because it was kind of a pet peeve of mine. Um, the young punk kid decides to say on a thread about sports that anybody who plays sports game is a royal douchebag that needs to get off their effing ass and go play some real sports. So, that just really upset me because the way I see it is that some people cannot participate in sports. I had an accident back years ago where I ended up injuring both my hips and I got a shoulder injury. I've gained weight. I'm not particularly really overweight or anything. I am over 200 pounds though. And if I tried to go jogging, I would end up probably rupturing things in my knee, blowing out my hamstring. It would not be a pleasant experience for me, and therefore, I do play sports games. I play sports games because I love sports. I don't have cable, so I can't watch sports. I rarely get to see highlights of any sports, so I don't really keep up with the sports world except through video games. And usually I'm a couple years behind, unfortunately. But I thought that was really nice that this young kid is so sure on how things are in life that he thinks that everyone that cannot participate in sports is just lazy. That's why he used the terms he did. He figures, well, you want to play these sports, run outside and play them. Don't sit on your computer and on your butt and get out of shape playing. In some ways I kind of agree, but at the same time, what about people who are paralyzed from the waist down at the age of, say, 5, or 10, or 20, or 30? What about older men who are in their 40s and 50s? They're not going to be playing sports like they used to. Maybe if they kept up over the years, they might be able to, but to use such vulgar and derogatory terms to somebody who you don't know is just wrong. And I think that a lot of people suffer from this, assuming that they understand everything. And this morning, furthermore, a good friend of mine and Rita's for over the last 6 years, we've known her since before she was 18. She removed us on Facebook because we got a new TV and she knows we're disabled and she doesn't think we should be able to afford it. What are we supposed to have? A cot in a room with 4 white walls and maybe a couple coat hangers to keep our few items of clothing on us, and that's all we should have and eat ramen noodles? I'm sorry, Rita's TV of 18 years died. She had the TV for 18 years. The TV that we did get was normally $7.98. We were able to get Walmart to put it on layaway for us for the 3-month layaway. It's $6.98, $100 off. And then Rita and me took 4 months to pay it because we put it in on September 3rd or whatever when they first started. 13th. So we had September, October, November, and December to pay it. 4 months. You do $700 divided by 4 is less than $100 a month. We were putting about $75 a month on it. Then we were saving about $25 each a month for prime rib so that we could have prime rib for Christmas and Thanksgiving. Yes, it still put us in the poorhouse. We also saved up money for Christmas gifts so that we could actually buy some, and we weren't able to get ourselves a Christmas tree this year, which we were planning to, because giving gifts was more important to us than getting something like a Christmas tree. In fact, if it hadn't been so desperate for a TV, we probably would have had more money for Christmas. So, yeah, a lot of things actually hurt us this year, but we did what we did because we wanted to do it, and it was a major, major sacrifice. It's not like we just went out and threw our money around because we had it. Yeah, I probably could have bought this TV outright and paid my rent, but I would have had no more money. Um, Anyways, we did get some good news. As a neighbor downstairs from us, who we've helped plenty of times in the past because we're helpful people, her Christmas tree, she got a new one, and she's going to let us borrow or give us her old 4-foot tall Christmas tree. So we're going to have something better than our little fiber optic Christmas tree that only stands about yay tall that we've had for the last 7 years. So that'll be a nice thing, and we have a place to set it up too, right near the window. But mainly this entire rant was about the fact that some people do not put themselves in the shoes of others. They do not think about others. They assume that everybody is exactly the same as them, that they're all in the same health, that they all have the same interests, that they all have... You can't make generalization assumptions of people and say anybody who doesn't fit those generalization assumptions and are able to do the things that you're able to do are idiots or douchebags, as they called people who play sports games. And I don't know, I think it's part of the problem with this world. So many of the younger generation think that they know everything, and they really know nothing. And it's the fault of the parents, and it's the fault of my generation. My parents, who are, in their 60s, they at least, even though my mother wasn't a great mother, at least my mother and my father and my grandmother and my grandfather raised me with enough morals and enough know-how to not be a total dumb idiot who doesn't think of the fact others might not be so fortunate. In fact, I am the most courteous person in the world. Yeah, I know. Ego, right? I don't mean it in the fact that I actually, truly, honestly believe I am the most courteous person in the world. But I am constantly putting other people ahead of myself. My neighbor runs up and down the stairs like a herd of wildebeests on my stairwell. I've had picture frames fall off the wall and hit me in the head. I've never complained to her. I have not put in a formal complaint to the management. I have attempted to talk to her about it, but she's gotten vulgar towards me over it. But every time I go up the stairwell, instead of saying, hey, I can run up it too like a herd of wildebeest while she's sleeping and see if I can knock things off her wall too, I sit there and say, you know what, she might not be nice to me, but I'm going to go ahead and creep up the stairs as slowly as possible. And as I said, I'm 200 pounds. And she's probably about 110 pounds. And her son is probably about 25 pounds at most. Yet somehow they make so much noise on a staircase that it's not even funny. My neighbor downstairs, he vacuums at 4 in the morning. If I'm going to vacuum, I try to do it right in the heart of the afternoon. Why? No one can complain, and it's a good time to get it done. I won't shower at say 2 in the morning because I don't want that sound of water to wake up my neighbor. I won't shower at 6 a.m. I'm very courteous towards everybody I meet. I open doors for people. I hold doors for people. I'm careful about what I say in public. I don't message people unless I feel that I'm comfortable enough with what I'm going to say that they're not going to be offended by it. I'm always afraid of offending other people. And sometimes to the point that I'm actually offending somebody by not saying something because I'm afraid of offending them. It's actually a nice little catch-22 in some ways. But yeah, I just felt that I needed to get it off my chest about the fact that, honestly, some people really need to sit there and say, how, other people aren't necessarily doing wrong or doing bad or are bad people because they're not doing what I expect or think they should be doing. It's not a good idea to generalize. And if you think with somebody you know that there's something you don't like, maybe you should find out first why it is they did that thing. Maybe they had a good reason for it. Maybe, like, for instance, our TV. We had no TV. We put ourselves in the poorhouse to get a TV, and it wasn't an expensive TV. Yeah, okay, it's 55 inches. But and it doesn't matter if it's got the internet capabilities. The fact of the matter is, if we got a 27-inch TV, it would have been maybe only $200 cheaper. 200, maybe 300. 300 at tops. Would I rather get a 27-inch TV that's going to last 2 years for $300, or am I going to want to see if I can get a 55-inch TV that's got almost all the bells and whistles that's going to last 2 to 3 years for just a little more money? I'd rather get something that I'm going to enjoy. Why? I don't have a social life. I don't drink. I don't go to the bars. I don't have friends. I read a lot. And I paint. I have internet, but I don't use the internet much. But what else am I going to do? There's no sports teams for me to go around to. I don't have a girlfriend. I have no life. I'm sorry, and yet I have some issues in my head where I got to keep myself almost constantly preoccupied so that I don't get stuck in here. Bad things start to happen when that happens because I get down on myself. I start beating myself up and telling me I ain't worth anything. It just brings back old memories, old haunts, and it's very difficult for me. So I have to keep myself preoccupied. Well, I can't sit there constantly looking at small print in a book, you know, having my face in it and, you know, all day long. I can stand reading about probably an hour and a half to 2 hours at a time before I'm like, oh, my eyes hurt, my back hurts, I gotta move around, do something. But using a TV and playing a video game, I can lay on my left side, lay on my right side, roll over. The screen's constantly moving. There's always, oh, I'm tired of looting bodies. I'll play basketball for a while. Oh, I'm tired of basketball. Here, why don't I put this game in and, try to save the world using a Lombax? Yeah. Or why don't I put this racing game in, this boxing game, this RPG, that RPG. I have choices. I have things that I can immerse myself in, and it saves a lot of hassle. And it's like I really should go and say, I'll get this little TV this big that I can't see anything on because that's what I deserve. Because I'm disabled. And, no. I'm sorry. Disabled people don't deserve to be shafted on either. Just because they're disabled and can't work. In fact, we explained this to a friend of ours at the grocery store tonight. And she looked at us and she said, yeah, so many people in this world think that because you're disabled, that really all you need is 4 white walls and a cot. And if you're lucky, maybe a hot pot to heat water on for your ramen noodles in a bathroom. So that you can take a shower because no one wants stinky disabled people. I'm supposed to have no life because I got the raw end of the deal on things. Because I was mistreated and hurt severely as a child. I'm supposed to suffer the remainder of my life because I was treated so badly. I do have to wrap this up. It's at 14 minutes. I know we have extended time. Yes, and then Rita was just mentioning that I should mention her disabilities too. She's learning disabled. And along with her learning disabilities is a mild bit of paranoia too. Particularly if things aren't put right out in ink in front of her and explained thoroughly. Like today, I got recerted for the apartment, and Rita's is still pending. Rita put hers in first. She's worried that they're going to try to boot her out of the apartment. Now, mine was due a month before, though, and mine was put in after, so they probably tried to put mine to the top of the list because I'm behind schedule. That's probably why I got done first, but of course her mind's telling her, oh, this and that, and of course she just got recerted on Social Security, and she hasn't heard back from them yet either. So she's thinking that Social Security may have cut her off, and if she got cut off of Social Security, she may have gotten cut off here, and now she's thinking that the person who removed us both today may have reported her to Social Security, and that might be part of why she's having problems with Social Security not getting back to her. If you're a friend of Rita's, if you think that you might be doing something that she might not understand, try to talk to her about it, because you don't want her sitting there thinking you hate her because you just went offline for the last 3 days in a row without saying, you know, I might be offline for the next 3 days because I'm not feeling good. Or you don't want her to get upset because she says that, you know, she just hurt her foot or something, and you give a smiley face response. Somebody I know did that to her, and it really upset her because she actually broke a toe, and, well, giving a smile is not a proper answer to, my toe is swollen black and blue and I stubbed it into something and I think I broke it. And it turned out to be broke. So it's kind of hard always to think of other people first and try to do what's always right. And we never can do everything right, but I certainly try. And I try really hard. And I oftentimes neglect myself because I'm taking care of others. I spend all day with Rita taking care of her. Sometimes I get hungry at home early in the morning, and I'll cook something, and, well, then the pan will sit there for a week because I'm not home to clean it. I'm home maybe an hour in the morning after I wake up, and I'm home for an hour at night when I get home. Last thing I want to do during the 2 hours I got alone is sit there and wash a dish. But I will cook for myself if I'm hungry, because I do have hypoglycemia, and sometimes I get really shaky and lightheaded because I haven't eaten something, so I gotta eat now and then. And I have lost a lot of weight because I cut out soda for the most part. I still have my momentary lapses because, well, I am addicted to those bubbles. But, yeah, Rita's kind of the same with things like alcohol and stuff, but she's trying to quit drinking, and she's doing a very good job of it. Yeah, and it's just extremely cold here. I'm going to leave you with a joke. It's actually so cold here that we just saw a reindeer fart a snowflake. Yeah, I know, lame joke. But I saw it tonight, and I thought it was really funny. So, yeah, I have a sense of humor, but my sense of humor sometimes doesn't show because I'm afraid of laughing. I feel like I'm just this nervous, geek, kind of weird person when I laugh. I'm incredibly shy, so... you're lucky you got 18 minutes of talking from me, which I think that I'm the biggest screw up in the world trying to say these things. But thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our channel and leave us any comments and messages that you can think of. Ask for requests of things you'd like us to talk about. We do appreciate any of your feedback. Do try to be polite. As you know, you don't necessarily know us, even though we are talking about our personal lives quite a bit. It's not nice to be offensive towards people. We just had a person on the channel the other day who was extremely offensive towards Rita, and, well, yeah, Rita's transgender. Big whoop-de-doo. You don't have to say it. You don't have to call anybody gay or queer or use derogatory comments. You know, people are aware of who they are and what other people may or may not think of them. So it's not necessary to go and sit there and point out the obvious. So, anyways, thank you very much, and you all have a nice night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and I do appreciate your time for watching this, because it's been forever, so thank you for sticking it out. Bye.